you always known that you're on a soul path? And have you wondered how to gain real insight into the steps along your own unique journey? Welcome everyone, I'm Sarah Main, and thank you for joining me on Damayanti, the show for your soul. It's great to have you join me. Damayanti means deep peace and calm. Damayanti sheds a light for your soul through the gift of wisdom that shines in the beautiful and universal language of Sanskrit. Damayanti is the show that speaks to your soul, connects with your soul, and enriches your soul. Welcome everyone, welcome along to today's show, Damayanti, the show for your soul with me, Sarah Main. It's wonderful to have you here. So welcome. And today's show is about healing the world through random acts of kindness. That sounds great, doesn't it? Healing the world through random acts of kindness. And we all want the world to be a better place for ourselves and for our loved ones. And so how can we help uplift and encourage and nourish each other and nourish ourselves without going on a crusade, okay, going on a mission? And there are simple ways of spreading joy while living our own best life. So let's consider love is all around. It really is. There's a wellspring of goodness everywhere you look. It struck me some years ago. I was sitting in a meeting and I was actually up the front and I was looking at a meeting room of people. There were a lot of people. And I was just looking at everyone sitting there listening to the speaker. And honestly, I was completely overwhelmed and utterly moved by the sheer goodness in people. Just, I can't, words can almost not explain and describe. There is just goodness at the heart of everyone, despite how it appears. And like even the other week, my husband and I were at a food court in a busy shopping mall at lunchtime. And well, tons of people there, all getting lunch at different vendors. And, you know, there were young people, old people, there were families, there were young kids, there were babies in prams, and everyone was trying to sort of get lunch. And just sort of taking a step back, falling still, waiting in line, and seeing the pure, sheer goodness in people. Okay, and yes, you know, and most people, they weren't sort of pushing and shoving and everything, but there was a lot of people, but just goodness. And that is an expression of love. Love is all around, and there is this wellspring of love and goodness everywhere you look, if you look. Right? Sometimes it means cleaning the glasses to look, all right? It just, my heart just breaks open when I see it because it is there. And generally people want to make a difference. They want to contribute, even just by doing right by their family and looking after their kids and raising good kids, you know, that are happy and, you know, well directed in life and got, you know, getting their lives on track and doing well for themselves and in turn being able to do well for their families. That's a genuine, natural human desire. And generally, everyone wants that. So there's general good around us. And we don't necessarily have to go on a mission for this, all right? We don't have to do any sort of really radical changes in lifestyle. I mean, look, some people may. We don't all have to go and dwell in ashrams or sit on mountaintops or in a cave or something. It's here all around us right now in the present moment, this abundance of love and goodness and uplift. So to a greater extent, you keep doing what you're doing, but let's bring in a measure of conscious intent. Okay, a measure of conscious intent, because I was taught twofold. Discover who you are, that inner pure being, that divine spark. And then basically then meet every moment in life, go out and live your life and meet every moment from that perspective of that pure being, that divine inner spark. Bring to every situation full attention And with that flows love and care and whatever's needed, courage, resilience, you name it, depending on the situation. Meet every situation, the good and the easy and the challenging. You know, you'll get both. That's life. You will, there's always that mix, but you meet everything fully and you attend upon everything fully. And that's what I was taught. And basically, that's what I've been doing my whole life. I was given incredible knowledge and training from a young age. And I've taught adults and I've taught children in different contexts for many years. And then I trained as an executive coach and a life coach. And then I coached adults. And the coaching model is a bit different from teaching. And that's what appealed to me. And then from there, through basically Dr. Pat, who started Transformation Talk Network, she reached out to me. She found my coaching website, and I started a podcast radio show with her, and then started my own show. And at first it was called Conscious Confidence. And from there, I wrote a book on conscious confidence. And then that has evolved into Damayanti. And further now with Damayanti, I've gone into Etsy. And the show Damayanti, there's Damayanti, the show for your soul, this show. And then also including the show and my website and store, I've got a blog. So all the time offering things. So that's kind of been my thing. And then from Damayanti, which is damayanti.store, that's my website. That's where all my show archive is, the blog is. There's things for upliftment. That's the whole point. And the jewelry with the Sanskrit, like this one I'm wearing today, is a bar necklace, and it says Abhayam in Sanskrit. Powerful, beautiful Sanskrit. And Abhayam means fearlessness. And that energetic reminder of fearlessness is fantastic. Some days I'll wear one that says prema, love. This one says Abhayam, fearlessness. Back in the day, I used to leave yellow Post-it notes around to remind myself to just keep present, keep uplifting, stay positive, because that's an expression of your divine inner spark. And we all do this, but sometimes we do it inadvertently. And sometimes it's easier to be pulled down by the sort of negativity that might be around in the collective or just by circumstances. So to keep turning to the positive, to the upliftment of ourselves and others, can require some energetic reminders. And rather than have yellow Post-it notes stuck everywhere, wear a piece of beautiful jewelry. I find it really helps. And then also now, excuse me, I've gone on to Etsy and I've got a store, All Things Eternal Shop is the name of the store, All Things Eternal Shop, but the brand is All Things Eternal. And that's another endeavor to encourage others into this circle of upliftment. It's a way of life, of supporting intent and memory, to promote positivity and presence, of mindfulness, of meditation. And the Etsy store, I'm just going to chat about that for a minute. The Etsy store has actually got all these fun, positive reminders like spread kindness like a wildflower. Spread kindness like a wildflower. Isn't that a great reminder? That's the sort of thing I would write on the blackboard or the chalkboard back in the day when I was teaching. We used chalkboards. I'd write something like that on the board. And it was really helpful for kids because, you know, like if they're having a tough time in the playground or something, they'd remember spread kindness like a wildflower. And the wildflower reference, think of a wildflower, it just kind of grows. It's effortless, it's natural. It's just like being who you are. It's being your own natural, beautiful self. Like I saw a mother on a plane. My husband and I were on a long haul flight, and there was a mother in a few rows ahead, and she was caring for two little boys, and the the flight attendant announced that we couldn't have any, because of a peanut allergy, there were no nuts being served. They had to be really careful in this section of the plane because of the child's high peanut allergy. But the mother, so the whole time she had food and she was looking after them and entertaining them and everything, but the whole time it was effortless, it was constant, it was natural. Now that's the sort of biological imperative that goes with mothering, of course. But, take that out to every day, especially when people can be a bit irritating and triggerous. Well, spread kindness like a wildflower, turn it around. That's a much nicer experience for you and for others. And there's a level of trust in the fact of just doing what's right and good and uplifting in a natural way without having to know kind of who, how, and when it will help. We just do it anyway. And that takes a level of trust in the greater good, because it will have its own effect radiating out, like dropping a pebble in water and the ripples going out. It's a ripple effect, and it will contribute to the collective, to the greater good. Every bit counts. And then there's another one. How about this? Stronger than the storm. How is that for a fabulous reminder? Stronger than the storm. Because it's really important to remember you're never tested beyond your limits, despite how it seems. You are strong, but we all need reminders of this. Like, take courage from the fact that no matter how dark things are, the dawn is always coming. Okay. And I think it might have been, oh God, I can't remember who said it, but someone said, you don't know how strong you are until being strong is the only choice you have. And I've had situations in my life like that. You don't know how strong you are until being strong is the only choice you have. And I didn't know those words at the time, but when I saw that quote recently, I thought, wow, I know that's true from my own experience. So stronger than the storm. How great is that as a reminder? And then there's another one. My mind is brilliant. My body is healthy. My soul is tranquil. My mind is brilliant. My body is healthy. My soul is tranquil. These are fabulous affirmations, wonderful affirmations to keep our mind and our heart in the zone, in the vibe. Be present. Have that, think that rather than something negative. So why not have these positive affirmations and statements and reminders? As within, so without. Keep the mind and the heart intending towards these uplifting, powerful things. So I'll tell you, there's a study, the National Science Foundation have done studies, right, that on the average person thinks about 12,000 to 60,000 thoughts a day, okay? And out of that 60,000, I was always taught 60,000, 80% of those are negative, and out of that 80% of negative thinking, 95% of that is repetitive. So we repeat those negative thoughts way more than we think positive thoughts. We're repeating negative thoughts far more than we think positive without conscious intention, energetic reminders, a purpose, a reason, a bigger picture. Okay, so I'm going to take a break, and then after the break, I'm coming back. I've got a wonderful story to tell you, and I got a couple more fantastic reminder affirmations. So I'll be back soon. Everyone, welcome back to Healing the World Through Random Acts of Kindness with me, Sarah Main, on Damayanti, the show for your soul. And before the break, I was just talking about it's quite a sobering set of statistics from the National Science Foundation, from studies they've done, that on average, a person thinks 12,000 to 60,000 thoughts per day. Wrap your head around that. 12,000 to 60,000 thoughts per day. And of those thoughts, 80% of them are negative. I say that again, 80% are negative. And of that 80%, 95% are repetitive thoughts. So if we repeat those negative thoughts, we think negative way more than we think positive. Okay? It's a sobering thing to realize. And I only learned that in my coach training, and it like bowled me over, even with my background Um, yeah, it just bowled me over. It made me even more determined to stick with the positive. Um, and I was just going through some really fantastic positive statements like progress, not perfection. I needed to remember that progress, not perfection. I mean, that's a reminder of the bigger picture in every situation, takes the pressure off, especially if you're a bit of a perfectionist like me. You can have good and high standards, but not punishing over the top perfectionism. It's a compassionate approach. And, you know, you and others are trying their best, sort of progress, not perfection. And another one is just keep moving forward. Like this is the ultimate mantra for resilience. It supports resilience and strength and fearlessness. And we certainly all need reminders of this. Just keep moving forward. And actually, in my new Etsy store, All Things Eternal shop, they're like on some cushion covers. So how fabulous just to have these really fun, upbeat reminders. You know, surround yourself with this. I started doing it years ago with post-it notes, and you know now there's t-shirts. I've got t-shirts in there. There's hoodies and sweatshirts and mugs and drink tumblers and totes and cushion covers. You know, gosh, I could have used those. It's far nicer, way nicer than yellow post-it notes stuck on the fridge door. So we rise by lifting others. We rise by lifting others. That's a fantastic reminder. We rise by lifting others. Well, here's a story about that. It's a traditional story. It's in many traditions, but this is the version I was taught. This is the story of the bamboo jackets, and I even put this in my book. It's so important to know. We rise by lifting others. This is the story of the bamboo jackets. Sometimes it's the 10-foot chopsticks, the 10-foot spoons, different versions. Okay. But I was taught the bamboo jackets. So there's there's two rooms, right? They're right next to each other, two rooms. You can go through one door into one room, another door into another room, two rooms. In each room is an identical setting. This vast tables filled with people sitting at these vast tables with this incredible, abundant banquet. And the room is beautifully decorated. It's rich and opulent and abundant and magnificent. And the tables are groaning under the weight of the most delicious, beautiful food. And in one room, I should say, and everybody is wearing bamboo jackets. So just imagine that, bamboo jackets, straight arms. Okay, so you can't bend your arms. So you're surrounded in front of you, either side, magnificent room, abundant food, delicious food, and you're hungry, and everyone else is hungry, and you're in this bamboo jacket. Now, both rooms have got that scene, right? Now, in one room, everybody's unhappy, desperately trying to get the food to their mouth. So I'm acting this out now. You've got to imagine it if you're only listening to this. You can't bend your arm, so you can't actually get the food into your mouth. Okay, so everyone is unhappy, they're negative, they're complaining, there's food going everywhere because they just keep trying to feed themselves. Okay, and it doesn't work, and they don't try anything else. That's one room. Let's go into the other room. Let's open the door and go into the other room. And it's light and it's joyful, and everyone's having a happy time, and they're all eating this delicious food, still wearing the bamboo jacket. So, how did that happen? Because someone woke up to the fact that if they fed each other, because with these bamboo jackets, they could reach the other person's mouth, they fed each other. And they were happy. By looking after others, they were looked after in turn. And that is off that story in some form or another. Sometimes it's 10-foot chopsticks, like you can't get the chopstick into your mouth, or you can't get the 10-foot spoon into your mouth. But the bamboo jackets means, you like, someone could argue you could put the chopsticks down. Maybe the rule is you had to use the chopsticks. I don't know. The bamboo jackets means you can't actually get, you can't bend your arm. So important to get that image, because that is sometimes described as the difference between heaven and hell. That someone woke up to the fact that if you fed others, you were uplifted, you were fed. So we rise by lifting others. Okay, our lifting up is taken care of by caring for others. Now, of course, everyone, I have to say this because everyone goes, well, but what about? Of course, there's this sort of oxygen mask on the aeroplane principle. That is, they always tell you to fit your mask first before helping children and other people. And the reason for that is so that you don't lose consciousness. Okay, well, it's the same thing. You do have to care for yourself. So we're in a fit state through intelligence and awareness to maintain balance, so we can be present and attend upon what is before us, of course. However, we don't have to think about that in a selfish way. So all we're doing is ever being obsessive about what our needs and what we need. If we turn our attention to caring for others, we're immediately uplifted. We did this a lot in teaching, making sure everyone, the children, cared for each other, all right, praised each other. And there was an immediate uplift and happiness. Like, if you could measure it in a quotient, it just rose immediately. It's instant. Okay. So this is so vital, so important. So healing the world through random acts of kindness, remembering that we rise by lifting others. Okay. That's why I put it on a t-shirt. Just keep moving forward. Keep going. That act of resilience and strength and fearlessness. That's why it's on a cushion cover. Progress, not perfection. So we don't punish ourselves. And we do keep going. Our energy is more upbeat and uplifted. All these things are so important. And all it takes is reminder again and again and again. And remember that to form a new habit takes remembering, consciously remembering and repeating something different, or turning our mind again and again to something that's positive and uplifting, rather than so turning it from the negative to the positive. In other words, from darkness to light. Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya in Sanskrit. Lead me from darkness to light. It takes doing that consciously 12 to 15 times minimum per day for a minimum of 28 days. And that's how long it takes for the neural pathways, particularly, so that our new habit is replacing the older habit. That neural development takes that long, 12 to 15 times a day, minimum repetition, consciously, for 28 days. And then you have a new habit, but it's like a new green shoot. You've planted the seed and the seed's germinated and come up above the soil, but it's vulnerable, it's tender, it's a little bit fragile. Storms and things could, affect it. It could die. So we need to then strengthen, keep going and strengthen it, so that eventually we don't have to keep consciously thinking about it all the time. It's part of our nature. It's become naturalized. All right. And like the bamboo jackets, feeding and looking after each other becomes natural. So that element of service is just so important. So I can only encourage you as a practice to uplift others, feed others in body, mind, heart, and spirit. And you can do this very simply. One of the ways, apart from physical acts, is to praise. Find ways to praise. I did that with the children all the time. I would get them to just turn to their neighbor, and we would go around the room and they would praise something about their neighbor. And it was such a fantastic way of making sure we always saw the best in people. So, and uplift yourself, feed yourself in body, mind, heart, and spirit, right? Praise yourself as well. So let your random acts of kindness add to the uplift and healing of the world. And good luck with that. I wish you the very, very best. And if you want to know more about Damayanti, go to my website, damayanti.store, and I've got exciting developments coming. I want to tell you, but I'm waiting. They're coming. And so go to my website, damayanti.store, and sign up for the newsletter, and then you'll be kept in touch directly to your inbox with all the exciting developments. I've got custom design jewelry coming, new blogs, latest shows, and other news. So go to my website, damayanti.store. And I'm now on Etsy. I have an Etsy store called All Things Eternal Shop, All Things Eternal Shop, and the brand is All Things Eternal. And it's everyday gear, t-shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies, home decor, mugs with fun and catchy, upbeat, positive, mindful reminders. So get some gear. They make great gifts, and we all want to stay in this positive, upbeat, uplifting, elevating energy, and simple reminders that we can wear, have around our home are just so good. So go to my website, damayanti.store, and my website, allthingseternal.shop, and good luck with it all. And let's finish off with a beautiful uplifting prayer, the peace prayer from the Yajur Veda. And I'll say the English and then the Sanskrit. So thanks for joining me. And here's a beautiful way to sign off. In heaven, peace, peace in the space between, on earth, peace, on the waters, peace, in plants, peace, in trees, peace, peace in all powers, in spirit, peace. Peace in everything, peace alone, peace. Peace, peace, peace. Om Dya Shanti, Antarikshan Shanti, Prithvi Shanti, Apa Shanti, Oshadhaya Shanti, Vanaspataya Shanti, Vishwe Deva Shanti, Brahma Shanti, Sarvang Shanti, Shanti Reva Shanti, Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Thank you for spending time with me on Damayanti, the show for your soul. To find out more about Damayanti, or to get my book, Conscious Confidence, Use the Wisdom of Sanskrit to Find Clarity and Success, or to purchase my range of beautiful spiritual jewelry, go to my website, damayanti.store. That's damayanti.store. See you next time.